In this video help, I'm going to be covering the purchase portal. And the way you get to the purchase portal is from the main menu or in the individual line items for the purchased items. If you click on the icon at the end of the purchase screen portal, what it'll do is display this record. There is an RMA record, and this is for the individual received items. So what happens is you'll see the item that is actually being purchased. If when you received the items, one was missing or damaged, you create an RMA. And the way you do this, if you haven't done it before, is you would contact the vendor explaining that you have not received an item. You'd put the date in this case, the quantity that you did not receive, the status, is it broken, damaged, or missing? You'd put in the received quantity when you actually received a replacement and the date that you received the replacement. And what this will do is it'll run a total of the cost related to the item for the items that are not received until they are all received, and then it will make it a zero quantity. So what you would do is you would use this to identify the actual value of the actual purchase. In this case, it's 324 euros. If down here there's 24 euros of not receives, then you would only pay the balance that you are owing at this time. And that's one of the reasons why in the actual purchase screen for the purchase PO that you indicate the amount received and the total due, and then the actual after received amount due, so you can balance it. RMAs will count against that, so if you don't have a quantity, you get the actual number of the balance due for the value. You have an option to say, okay, we'll just cancel that particular amount, or you can tell them to provide either product or a refund if you've already paid it. Now, you should not be paying things that you did not receive the items for. Also in this screen, you can put the vendor part number. So if there's a specific vendor part number that you want to identify that you should be sending back to for the RMA, you would take it off the product and indicate that in here in case you don't want any confusion between your part number and the one that you're using for the actual refund. There's also an invoice history in here that'll indicate for the product that you actually purchased where and when this item is already purchased, and then on invoices by a client, and then the purchase information tracking back in here as far as history. When you're doing an RMA, there might be a lot of narrative involved as far as this particular item. So you would go ahead and put in this indicating how that particular RMA is being satisfied as far as the date that it actually was reported, what they plan to do as far as send you product or you canceled it or whatever you did, but this would be the history of that particular transaction for the RMA to get the product back in. And that is by individual record of receipt for the purchase order that you're actually working through. So that would be an indicator for that particular record history. This is the same information that came over from the actual purchase portal record and the purchase portal ID that matches it so you know you're in the right place as far as the portal record that you're working with. If you need to go back to the purchase record, you can click on the purchased button. It'll take you back into that particular purchase record that you were just in. So you can bounce back and forth if you need to, looking for vendor information or whatever. You can also jump over to the inventory records if you need to review those. There's also the purchase portal, you can access it, but it would not go to the specific record if you use this button to go to that location. There's a purchase report that we're going to be covering shortly by store, and another one by product, which will also help to make information more clearly defined. And then there's another inventory button that will take you back to the inventory system, and the main menu button if you need to go back. The same kind of things are on the actual purchase portal record over here, as you'll see with the purchase and so forth. There's also a list view for the information for the items that are in the purchase portal record information. Okay, if you have any questions as normal, go ahead and contact me by email. Thank you.